Hello, everybody, and welcome to step 4 of how to 10x your Reels editing in Premiere Pro. Audio. Audio settings can be quite the tedious task, but they don't necessarily have to be. So let's address some of the elements that you can incorporate into your audio editing to make that a little bit easier. Number 1, how do we enhance the sound of your audio? How your audio overall sounds. We're going to start off by heading over to Audio Effects in your Effects tab, Amplitude and Compression, and then drag over multi-band compressor to your audio track. It's important to know that I already have these elements enabled, so I'm going to go ahead and take all of these elements off for the purposes of this video and start from scratch. So drag over multi-band compressor to your audio track. We're going to head over to filter and EQ and drag over parametric equalizer. Lastly, we're going to head over to noise reduction / restoration and drag over denoise. Now let's address all of these elements one by one and how they can benefit you in enhancing your audio. Multiband compressor and parametric equalizer allow you to apply audio passes that will generally elevate the sound of your audio. We generally suggest to select the presets for these audio effects so that you don't have to get into the nitty-gritty of editing your own audio. Head over to Edit and then select Preset, Raise Vocals. Head over to your presets tab and select either broadcast or raise vocals. Now, if you're not editing a talking head video, keep in mind that these aren't necessarily applicable, so you could also select enhance highs to isolate the highs in your audio track. Now that we have multiband compressor figured out, we're going to go ahead and compress that tab and head over to parametric equalizer, where we're going to select generic high pass or vocal enhancer. Again, same thing as before. If you're not editing a talking head video, you select generic high pass. But if you're editing talking head video footage where there's dialogue, you select vocal enhancer and you collapse your tab. Lastly, we have denoise. Denoise does a great job at eliminating the white noise playback that you'll hear in your audio. We often recommend that you have it at about 20%, but you could go up to as far as 40% because of the previous elements that we've applied to the audio. Let's go ahead and raise the volume so you guys get a really good idea of how this audio sounds. Now let's go ahead and take a listen to the audio without any of the elements applied.
My aim today is to provide clarity and evidence-based insights into the complexities of weight gain. It's no secret that
Let's hear some of that dead air so you get a better idea of how denoise will eliminate that. You hear that whining hiss? There's additionally a fan in the background, and denoise will also eliminate that for the most part. Now let's re-enable denoise.
my aim today is to provide clarity and evidence.
Sounds a bit muffled, right? Let's enable parametric equalizer and multiband compressor.
And evidence-based insights into the complexities of weight gain. It's no secret that the world of weight management is
You can still hear it, but it's definitely less than before. Let's increase the audio's volume so you get a really good idea of how this helps us.
today is to provide clarity and evidence-based insights into the complexities of weight gain. It's no
Now, what some of you might have noticed is that our audio is actually peaking over here. We have it between -3 and
secret
-6.
that the world of weight management is filled with conflicting information and
On average, you want it to be anywhere between -6 to -12. So we're definitely going to bring this down about -5 decibels.
oversimplified truths. These misconceptions often leave you feeling puzzled and uncertain.
This will be good for most media platforms. Now that we have the audio effects all figured out on this section of the audio track, what if we want to apply it to the rest of our audio tracks? Well, simply select all of them by holding Shift or Command if you're using a Mac. Click Control or Command C, and now select all of your other audio tracks by dragging over the Select tool and click Control V. And now you've applied all of the audio elements that were previously not there. Now let's talk about dead air and how to analyze your audio waveforms. Right here, we have a simple area of dead silence. This section right here is not too apparent if you're not paying attention, but the more that you look at your audio track, the more these sections are going to become increasingly obvious. So we apply 2 cuts right here, and we can clear up that air gap. And in addition, right here, we have a simple one. Let's say I just want to place a cut right here and just move it up ever so slightly. In addition to cutting this footage, we also want to remember to always transition our audio. To simply transition your audio, all you have to do is head over to Effects and then select Audio Transitions, Crossfade, and then you could choose from any of the three here. We typically use Constant Gain. When you find one that you find sounds best, you go ahead and you apply it to your cut section of video and you drag it down to maybe 2 to 3 frames, let's say roughly. So this is exactly 2 frames on each side of the video, amounting to a total of 4 frames of audio transition. Let's do a simple before and after of the audio transition with and without. Let's go ahead and increase the audio so you guys can get a better idea.
The myths, preconceived notions. Tackle the myths, preconceived notions.
And now with.
Here to tackle the myths, preconceived notions. Tackle the myths, preconceived notions.
What this basically does is lessen the impact of the cut. Unless you want it to be punchy, you're going to want to transition your audio. And even at that, this type of slip in your editing can come off as a little bit unprofessional if you forget to do. So typically opt into transitioning your audio tracks. But of course, if you're handling a larger video with many cuts across the duration, you don't want to have to apply audio transitions to each cut. So what you're going to want to do is go ahead and head over to your constant gain transition. Click Control-C to copy it, and then you're going to hold Control-V and drag across your timeline. And now you'll see that each section of cut audio is transitioned seamlessly. And we could go ahead and have nice and clean playback.
Many of you bring into my office, and my aim today is to provide
Simple and clean. Now on to step 5.